Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Darren Evans and this is BD Performance. Well, the accident from the other day posed a really interesting question and something that Cal actually brought up, which is that not everybody knows exactly what to do in the event of an accident. So we thought it was a particularly good and poignant kind of thing to discuss exactly what you should do if you were unlucky enough to be involved in an accident. So we're going to take you through today just some of the bits and pieces, nothing in particularly in depth of what you should actually do when you find yourself in a situation. Hopefully that you don't, but if you do, then this is probably what you should do. So what's the first thing you should do when you find yourself involved in an accident? Well, I think the first thing you should do is make sure that if there's anyone with you, that you're all okay and, well, survived basically. That's more than anything. The second thing you should definitely do is move yourself to safety if you can, and the car is mobile, then obviously if it's dependent on the size of the accident, is to get yourself to a safe place, at least you, if not the vehicle itself. That is a little bit contradictory to what you need for your insurance purposes, which is some photographs of the accident itself. Now, that's not always possible to take as many images as you can. And that's probably why, realistically, in this day and age, it's a good thing to have front and rear mounted cameras. Now, that's something that I hadn't fitted to this vehicle, and it's something I probably will address in the future because it would have helped us if we hadn't have had a clear kind of direction on who is at fault here. Now, obviously, when people hit you in the rear end, it's easier to prove that it was the person behind you that was at fault. That's not always the case. When you're following someone else, they might have brake tested you, or they might have been involved in some sort of crash for cash, has been seen, as we've seen quite often recently. So it doesn't mean that just because you've been rear-ended that you're not going to struggle to get your claim through if it wasn't your fault. Now, obviously, at the scene of this accident, we took plenty of images, and the driver admitted it was at fault. To sort of coincide with that and to back that up, as it were, we actually collected some witness details at the side of the road, and then we moved the vehicle out of the way. Now, this in itself posed a problem because we were at a junction and had been hit through a set of traffic lights onto the other side. So immediately I reversed backwards so that I didn't block the entrance onto the slip road. Now, once we'd taken some pictures, we actually moved it down to the slip road onto the side, or tried to, but this poor little car didn't want to go too far at that point. So we struggled and moved it as far as we could. We actually then, or Lee actually then, erected the safety triangle behind it, which is something that comes as standard with these BMWs, and that really did help us out. But at all times, make sure you're in a safe place and that you aren't endangering yourself, that's for certain. So guys, remember, it's not actually your place to admit liability, and if you do so at the roadside, then it could actually prejudice your insurance. They do actually tell you to just pass over your details and to not admit any liability at the roadside or give any details other than what you're required to as law. And the law actually states that you should just give your insurance details, your name and address, and other bits of information necessary to process the claim. There's no onus on you to admit liability at the scene, that's for sure. Make sure that you do have your details with you, because you are legally obliged to actually carry them in your vehicle at all times. So make sure that you've at least got an email with your policy insurance number and your insurance company's details with you, so that you can speed up the process and quickly get the vehicles removed and recovered if they need to be, or moved off to safety or to a garage or whatever. But that's probably the biggest tips that we can give you. In terms of having an accident, it's a stressful kind of event, so make sure to take your time to consider what you're saying to people, consider what information you give them. There's no necessity to give any details other than maybe a mobile number, your name, and, as I say, your insurance details, and that's it. There's no obligation to give addresses, no obligation to give driving licenses. I may be wrong on that one, but I don't think there is. Obviously, in some instances, the police will attend. They'll take the details, especially where someone's got no details for the insurance to give themselves. So if you find yourself in that position, don't feel too scared to call and ask for assistance from the local authority, i.e. 999, and get them to come out and assist you. But just a quick update on the car itself. Now, we've had one body shop out to have a look at it this morning. There is more damage than we thought. There is some minor chassis damage underneath, and then also the tailgate itself is out of line, which I didn't notice until Paul, who came here from a local body shop, pointed out. So we're going to have to do some more investigation. At present, we've priced up the bits from Shrewsbury BMW, and just for the bumper, the exhaust, just from the axle back, the tips and the other bits to fit the bumper, parts alone, we're looking at £4,400 worth of damage here. That's not including any stripping, installation, paint or finishing or anything like that. Plus, we've obviously got to investigate that issue with it not driving properly. So this isn't going to be a cheap repair. This is probably going to be in excess of a third of the value of the vehicle. So just remember that not only do you need to make sure you've got those details, you need to make sure that you've got a really good body shop involved that's going to pick up all the bits that you need. Because once you've had that work done and you've signed a certificate or an agreement of satisfaction, that's it. That's the obligations completed by the insurance, and there is pretty much no going back without a lot of hassle. And the final bit that I want to touch on is about the whole kind of compensation for any injury or any out-of-pocket expenses. So make sure that you do keep receipts for anything that you spend outside. So in my case, obviously I missed a hotel booking, and when I did turn up, you know, late on, obviously I didn't get the full enjoyment of the holiday with my family. So that's something that you need to discuss with the insurers as well. It's not something to take advantage of, but it is something that you're entitled to, so make sure you take advice on that. The law has changed in May of this year surrounding personal injury claims and so on and so forth, so don't get drawn into these accident management companies. Make sure that you take advice from your own insurers and from actual solicitors that specialise in this, rather than just the ones that are accident management companies. So anyway, if there's any questions, then please comment down below. We'll try and answer them as we can. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel and you like this sort of content, give us the thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell icon to stay notified. And if there's anything else that you'd like to know, or a future video that you'd like to see, obviously we'll update you about this BMW. But for now, we're going to leave it at that, and we'll see you in the next video.